Good morning, everyone. How is everyone this morning? Yes, I love it. Thank you all so much for being here. This is Coffee and Conversation that is put on by the Government Affairs Committee of the South Padre Island Chamber of Commerce, and I'm Jeanette, the President and CEO. I would like to welcome all of you, of course, but there are a few people I would like to recognize at this moment. With us today, we have Chief O'Carroll. We have Chief Jim Pigg. We have with us our interim director at the CBB, Brett. And then, of course, we have our chairwoman of the board of directors of the South Padre Island Chamber of Commerce, Wendy Knight. So this is a great turnout, and this is a very important topic for us here on the island because we're getting into spring break. The weather feels like it's spring already. We had that one little shot of winter, and now we're into summer already. So, as you know, spring break is a very big part of the economy here on the island, and so with us today we have our partners with the city, with the fire department, with the CBB, to talk about what their plans are for tracking the tourism that we see this year during spring break and what they're going to do to protect us as residents and our visitors during spring break. So I give over to Chief O'Carroll.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Claudine O'Carroll. I'm the police chief here on South Padre Island. This, for me, will be my 29th year working spring break, so it's been a while, and it'll be my 8th year as chief. Some of this information is going to be a little bit repetitive because we've identified a plan that seems to work for us in the city with emergency services every year, and it seems to have been working really good to keep the community safe, the visitors safe as best as possible, and the residents safe. So we're using the same plan, and that's what we're doing moving forward. I think to stand up here and to give you the same speech every year is a little repetitive. So what we started doing was actually trying to give you some statistics of what has happened in previous years here and how we combat that. So I'm going to jump right in because I know Chief Pigg is speaking and the CBB is speaking. So this is just about our additional staffing. So every year we beef up our numbers and we hire jailers, traffic, and police. So here's where we're lined up right now. We usually use 20 to 25 extra jailers. That provides 24-hour coverage for us in the jail. That means that more of my people are out there in the streets, not having to worry about the jail, what's happening in the jail, and the emergencies that happen there. We have 24 officers lined up. They're partner officers, partner agencies that actually take a vacation from the agencies that they work at, and they come in here and they supplement our ranks. So whereas we would normally have 4 to 5 on a shift, that beefs it up to 8 to 10. Plus, we have our partners, both state and federal, that supplement those numbers. Traffic control is always a big thing every year. We try to keep traffic flowing. Compared to 20 years ago, we've kind of improved on our traffic plans, but we don't see the congestion we used to see. But we have a plan that we work real well with those lights. We have somebody on every intersection to try and keep the flow through and the congestion from building up. So that's where we're at right now. That doesn't mean they'll be the final numbers or we won't add to those ranks, but that's where we're at right now. So these are the resources we implement every year. So Chief Pigg will talk about the Emergency Operations Center, but in that Emergency Operations Center that we set up, we also set up a social media team. That has been very effective for us in the past few years with regard to monitoring Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, whatever social media platform out there where they're advertising parties, large parties, noise, and so on and so forth. So we actually have people and analysts that are sitting there scrolling through, monitoring, trying to give us the data. So before that happens, we're already on scene, we're already controlling the environment we're in. We have license plate readers at the base of the causeway. We've had them since 2012, 2013, and they give us alerts when they're linked to HIDA, and they give us alerts when we have people coming into the area that may have warrants or may have other activity, criminal activity in their past that we need to know about. The Sky Tower, we work with the county to get a Sky Tower out here. It's got surveillance capabilities, it's got cameras, 360 cameras, recording capabilities, and we set that up usually in our high pedestrian area, which is the entertainment district. Gives us that 360 coverage. It records if we need to come back after the fact and access any kind of data for case prep or anything, any injuries, any fights, anything like that. We get that information from there. Of course, our increase in staffing, mobile command, we work with our federal and state partners to bring in a mobile command unit that we can relocate or allocate to any particular area if we do have a high critical incident that we need to send a response unit to. It'll serve in that purpose at that location. And then, of course, our partnership with outside agencies. We could not do this effectively without our partners. They come in, they plan to be here for at least 10 days to 2 weeks, and they serve to allow us to do what we need to do. So as opposed to why that's so important for us, when we send an officer to a scene, we normally need to send 2 or 3 officers, depending on the particular scene we're responding to. When we have partnering agencies with us, that limits the number of South Padre Island staff that I need to put on a scene, so we're more responsive to all the needs that are going on for the 24-hour period that we're there. So this is just to give you an idea of where we're at from 23 to 25. So you can see last year, we did a lot of traffic interactions. You're looking at 65, close to 500 in citations and warnings. So their interactions from March 1st to April 1st. So we're trying to, make contact with traffic, make contact with our drivers, make sure everybody's driving safely. We're trying to, stop the accidents that we have. We did have an increase in accidents 2025, from 106 to 134. That is for the 30-day period. That's where we stand. These are our calls for service. So basically, this is anything that required a police response. As you see from last year, again, we went up a little bit from 3,694 to 3,700. On average, 122 calls for service a day. We were to break it down. So that's why those partner agencies are super important to us, because they give us the flexibility to respond to all of that. We wanted to highlight again this year, we have our frontline reporting portal for people that come in to try and file a report at the police department. Sometimes due to the congestion in the police department, we have a lot of people trying to file reports. There is an online portal that we try to use, and we try to let our residents know, or anybody that's not in the area that calls after the fact and says, hey, I lost my wallet, I lost my identification. We would recommend this online portal, which gives you the ability to file a report online, and what happens when that report is filed, it goes to a supervisor, then the supervisor will assign it out to an officer. You'll still get the follow-up, you'll still have to provide a statement, but the case will be generated. In that online portal format, you have the vacation watch, which people have been using, local residents have been using. They go in there, they put when they're out of the area, and we give them extra roll bys. We drive by their property, we make sure, we'll walk around their property, we'll make sure the doors are still secure, windows secure, no sign of anybody making any kind of entry to the property. And people that have used, I don't know if there's anybody here that has used the vacation watch, but it'll actually give you an email and let you know when we've checked your property. Every time we check your property, we input it in the system, and it lets you know, it sends you an email that the police department has checked your property. Lately, we've had some issues with some bikes being taken, which we've recovered, but there is a bike management module that you can go in there and put a photograph of your bike, description of your bike, especially with e-bikes nowadays. They've become a hot commodity, and unfortunately we have kids that go by, pick it up, and then dump it somewhere else. But we've been successful in recovering them, but you can actually put your bike in here, and that way we know when we recover a bike who it belongs to. Key holder, super important for us this time of year. Gate code keys or numbers, keypad numbers change every year. Businesses change them. Property owners change them. We need that updated key for keyless entry so that we can access the property if there's an emergency. I think People just sometimes forget to give us a notification, let us know, hey, we've changed our code to our property. Please let us know, again, if there's an emergency, it gives us access to get into your property. Citizen reporting, I already talked about that. Pet management, you put a photo of your dog in there, let us know. If we find your dog running loose, we know where to take it back to. And of course, at-risk residents, which we do have some that families will put their information in there. They're struggling maybe with dementia or Alzheimer's. And if we have their information, we can make sure that we notify the family and get them back to who they need to be. So this is the portal. This is where it's at on our website, of course, myspi.org. And here we have the modules that are associated with it. This is a QR code that will take you to that portal. I don't know if anybody wants to take a screenshot of that. It streamlines the process. It helps us respond quickly and effectively. You're not waiting for an officer to respond, and the report there is follow-up. The officer will follow up, or the investigator will follow up and reach out to you. And that's our crew there. So we are very grateful to be able to do what we do in this community. We feel very supported by our community, and you really have a good police department with a lot of tenured staff. Can my staff stand up back there? Stand up, please. Sergeant Vasquez has been with us close to 25 years. Captain Silva has been with us close to 30 years. Joseph, how long have you been with us, Joseph?
16 wonderful years, Chief.
So Joseph is our community resource officer, so I know some of you have seen him for tie cuttings and for conference openings and stuff like that. So Joseph is our community guy, so he's always available. He goes out there to the schools and does what he can to interact with the police department and the community. But we have a great team. We feel very supported by the city and our community and the residents, and we're looking forward to a very safe spring break this year. So, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is your dispatch center updates capability?
Sorry.
Is your dispatch center updates capability?
Texting ability, dispatch. Victor, want a texting ability, dispatch?
Oh, yes. So
Yes.
We do have a system update for alerts, but that's only for emergencies. Not really for local operations.
But for emergency purposes.
Yes. It's only for emergencies.
Yes.
So is there a non-emergency number?
There is a non-emergency number. That's 956-761-5454. You're very welcome.
761-5454.
Yes, sir. Any other questions, anybody? Before I can get off the hot seat, turn it over to Chief Pig. Okay, Chief Pig.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jim Pick. I'm your fire chief on South Padre Island. And just wanted to update you on what we've got planned. Chief O'Carroll, thank you so much. Great job. Her slideshow is going to be a little bit better than ours. But we do have a wonderful staff that's been with us as long. I've been with the department now for 21 years, chief for 6. So we've all done this. I've got captains that have been there longer than I have. So we've done this before. We know what we're doing. Not to say that something couldn't come up and we could be overwhelmed, but we do have partners that we're partnering with. We do have a meeting today at 1:30 with all of the hospitals, with all of our local partners, Los Presos, Brownsville, Vista, Port Isabel, that will be our backup in case something happens. On the 23rd, our operations captain, Emilio Jose, is going to pick up a new ambulance for us, so we will have 5 ambulances operating this spring break. So that's a welcome additive to our apparatus fleet. So with that being said, we'll move forward and show you a little bit about what our statistics are. Chief O'Carroll and her crew are a lot more reactive proactive than what the fire department and EMS is. With that being said, you know, we're responding to 911 calls as they happen and as they come in, whereas they're out patrolling and looking for things that are gone awry or things that need attention to. So, and then also they're dealing with a lot more of the problems with things that are happening and short-term rentals and so forth. With that being said, so versus last year, or 24 to 25 EMS calls, it's flat, 220 calls. And then on the fire side, we went up from 70 the previous year to 81 last year. And then our beach patrol calls are 22 and 20. I'll let our beach patrol lieutenant address what we do out on the beach after I finish with this. It's a short presentation. But that's where our statistics are on that. Our fire operations, you know, we're running an engine, a ladder truck, and then we have, again, 5 apparatus for the EMS service. So, you know, we're pursuing the mission. We're committed. We've done this before. Like I said, most of our guys have been here multiple years. So, again, things can happen. Things can go crazy just as quickly as they can just become very mundane. So, it's definitely goes from monotony to chaos really quickly. On the EMS side, we've got all of our EMTs, paramedics. We do have part-timers that are coming in, so our staffing will go up. We will staff all 5 of those ambulances. We will have full staff on our ladder truck and also the squads that we have, the pickup trucks that are out running around. We have an EOC operations command vehicle that will also be available to us. So with all that being said, you know, our staffing does go up. We do hire our part-time individuals to come in to help us with those as well. I'll let Lieutenant Casillas speak on this momentarily, but again, the command center, we opened that up over at City Hall upstairs in the council chambers. So it's staffed from the entire week of spring break. We have people there that will be there, you know, pretty much 24/7 if they need to be. The crowds dictate that we need to be there longer, then that's what we do. We also will have the community center. We do EMS at the community center to where we have staffing available if need be. If we start getting inundated with calls like, you know, public intoxication, things that don't need to go to the hospital that need to be addressed, we have beds that are in the community center. So we'll have that staffed as well. If need be, we'll have personnel from the hospitals that will come over and help us out with that. So we're very fortunate to have all the partners that we have that are very much willing to participate and help us out. Also, what we do, since we do have such a long transport time to get to the hospitals, we have talked and requested as much as possible that the hospitals get Port Isabel and South Padre Island in and out as quickly as possible. When it gets busy, there's wall time, which refers to the fact that when we get to the hospital, if there's multiple patients or ambulances in front of us, we have to wait until the hospital's ready for us, and then we go in. So that wall time sometimes can be up to an hour. We're trying to decrease that dramatically for us so we can get back to the island because, you know, we do have such a long transport time. So again, with that being said, we have the community center where we will be staffed on the busiest weekends, and if it's need be, we can staff that as well and have people that will transport there, and we'll take care of them until they're either able to be released and not be transported, or if it comes to find out that we do have to transport them, we'll transport them there as well. Any questions for us? Nope. All right, Lieutenant. There you go. There you go.
Woo! Spring break, everybody, right? Yeah. If there's one thing I want to say is the beach is safe. You know, I want to give a shout out to our CBB team throughout the years. It's honestly been a little more of a family transition as far as I see on the beach. So we kind of changed our operations a little bit. We used to always just be all focused on the party scene. But for the most part, we go to a regular patrol. We have one unit down south and one unit up north that we usually do in the summers. We also have a strategic team that focuses on the party side at Clayton's. But for the most part, over the years, it's honestly been a middle thing on the beach. As far as 911 calls, we don't really see that much because we take care of it before it happens, right, guys? Woo! So we do a lot of like medicals, minor medicals. A lot of people, you know, they step on a bottle at the beach. You know, they have a small laceration. So we're very much a minor medical. But we're there keeping everyone safe. But for those who are saying like, oh, what about those that do come and have a good time? It might not seem as big to us, but when someone comes to South Padre Island and sees Clayton for the first time, we see them get off the beach and say, wow, this is awesome. So it's been a great combination of young college kids still having that experience that everyone did growing up here in South Padre Island. But it's also been a pretty cool transition to see all the families up and down the beach have a good time as well. Nothing pretty drastically has changed throughout the beach, so I could report on that. But for the most part, I want you guys to know I feel safe that the beach is safe. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you all for being here. I want to see the same energy during the hurricane preparedness as well, right, guys? Because it might not be as fun, but it's also very important. But any questions for the beach? No? CUB? No questions? All right, sounds good, guys. Well, that's it for the beach. Thank you, everybody. My name is Padre
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Cindy Trevino. I'm the Director of Marketing for Visit South Padre Island. I think we're going to just have Pedro do my slides. He has a lot more energy than I do right now. So before I start, before I present our spring break plan, I just wanted to start by saying that the intent behind the spring break plan that was approved was intentionally designed as an awareness-led strategy that fuels demand and downstream conversion. So our target market for families this year in Texas, of course, it's the RGV, Corpus, Laredo, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and Austin. We also have a target market in the Midwest, which is Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Indiana, Minnesota, Missouri, Colorado, Arkansas, New Mexico, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Throughout the year, we still have efforts in Mexico, so we are constantly marketing in the Monterey area, Mexico City area as well. So our strategy for family spring break was to leverage high-performing media channels to reach families actively planning spring break getaways, which is our persona was a family traveler. So through our approach, we did our marketing through TripAdvisor, which provides custom itineraries for families with children. Also through Thrillist, that has articles that highlight South Padre Island and all of our family-friendly offerings. And then also through Hulu, Disney, and YouTube. Of course, we are consistently on social media, and for families, we use Facebook and Instagram. And this market, we started advertising in October, and of course, we're going to continue all the way through the end of March. Through our TripAdvisor, this has launched custom content and a sweepstakes promotion to fuel travel for spring break. Thrillist Custom Content Program launched a custom content series for spring break as well. We've had very strong engagement through both of these platforms, and we're expecting 113, a little bit over 113 impressions. And then for our families, we also have streaming audio. So the platforms that we use for streaming audio are Spotify, iHeart, and Pandora. Also through CTV, we also have Hulu, ESPN, Paramount, and Disney+. Again, Meta's on here as well through Facebook and Instagram. And through these platforms, we're expecting a little bit over 6.2 million impressions. And the graphics that you see here on the slide, Greenhouse came out here a few months ago to collect more content and so we can refresh our pictures that we've been using for several years. So we now have new videos and new photos as well for these campaigns. And now I'm going to bring up Denise. She's going to go ahead and run through the college spring break initiatives. Thanks.
And I am the social media and international affairs specialist
To start off with the spring break efforts that we have going on, these are all paid. Of course, with college spring breakers being first and foremost approached with social media, we have most predominantly our ads running on TikTok and on Meta social video, and for Meta we use Instagram more than Facebook, which is for families. We also have the TripAdvisor spring break sweepstakes where they can win a trip to South Padre Island. We also have the CTV with audio streaming with platforms like Hulu, YouTube, Spotify, and also other podcast platforms. And we also have the college campus takeovers, which is out-of-home efforts. And these are located on Texas State, UT Austin, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, UT RGV, TCU, and out of state as well, with University of Oklahoma, University of Arkansas. And what this means is that they have advertising directly within and around college campuses, maybe on hotspots where they most frequent their locations. All these efforts combined are expected to have more than 21 million impressions, and this has been running from August all the way to March of this year. So also keep in mind that we have 2 main weeks of spring break here on South Padre Island. The first one goes from March 8th to the 15th. These are only some of the universities that visit us throughout that first week. And then the second one, which is considered Texas Week, is from March 15th to the 22nd. And these are just the top universities that visit us also during that second week of spring break.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mauricio Cervantes. I'm the website and data specialist for Visit South Padre Island. So last year we did do a redesign of the main website for South Padre Island. It used to be sopadre.com. It is now visitsouthpadreisland.com. It's a lot easier for people to remember than saying sopadre.com, especially for our non-Spanish speaking audience. But we do have a main page highlighting spring break for the collegiate and for the family. So right now, of course, any events, specials that any local businesses here are offering, be sure to reach out, give that information to us, and we'll be happy to post it on the website and then all of our communications to our audiences. And we also have a texting program, both for the general consumer and the college spring break audience. The college spring break started back in December. We were sending 1 text a week, just pretty much promoting any events and specials that, again, any partners want to share with us. But as we get closer to spring break and during spring break, we'll be ramping up the number of texts going out. And yeah, if you have any specials, offers, anything you want to promote on our website, just feel free to reach out and we'll be happy to get that done for you. Passing it back to Denise.
Alrighty, and for the organic social media platforms, organic just means the platform that you see on all platforms. If you're not following us, go ahead and follow us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X as Visit South Padre Island. And we've been already promoting spring break for both college and families. And we started this since September of last year. And our target audience, like I mentioned, is the college spring breaker and also families. And just for reference, here in the bottom you can see the amount of followers that we have on each platform. So it sure reaches a larger audience, every post that we do promoting this seasonality. In September, we also had a college activation at UT Austin. This happened September 17th, and we promoted, of course, collegiate spring break, and we interacted directly with college students, like you see here on the pictures. Out of this event, we gathered around 900 leads, and those includes emails and phone numbers of students that are interested in coming here to South Padre Island. And then looking ahead for the 2 weeks that I already mentioned in March, we are going to have activations throughout the island to also collect leads and surveys, just also so we know, looking ahead, where our visitors are coming from, if we see any shift in whether it's behavior or location. that's how we're able to tap in directly with the visitors that we have here during those weeks. So we're going to be located at the welcome sign at the Arts District, or also known as the 2500 Plaza, the Entertainment District, and major hotels like is the Grand Courtyard, Holiday Inn Resort, and Hilton Garden Inn. So if you see us around, with promo items, this is what we're doing. We're directly interacting with the visitors that are here visiting. And that is it. If you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you for your time and attention.
All right, well, that was some good information. Does anybody have any questions at all for any of the parties that are with us today? Yes, sir.
As a new resident down here, what are we expecting the travel time when we need to get off the island to start the month of March?
Who here can answer that question the best?
I can tell you, it depends on what time of day you're talking about.
Usually in the morning, I get to go to work.
Not a problem. They're all asleep it off. Years back, we would have congestion, Airbnb day and stuff, people come to the beach, trying to set up a day, but the last 4 to 5 years, we haven't seen any kind of congestion. It's really not too long to day. And even then, like, we have been active in traffic organizations, so we try to streamline the process of getting as fast as possible. I don't have
Do you have any inside information that we get space X month during March?
I don't. Somebody else here might, but I don't. I haven't heard. I know we had one last year in the middle of spring break, and we had to adjust with our partners in Cameron County. I know they also have a couple of concerts this year. But we work with Simona and Cameron Range, which was good. They kind of streamline that process too, and get them all. Our partners in 4 days ago are really good. When we make a call to them, we're backed up on the south end. Everybody's trying to get off to the mainland. They're real good about turning the light screens and keeping us flowing. I talked to John Sunwell and she goes over there, and they'll put the lights on green to try to facilitate that. We want everybody off as safely as possible, as quickly as possible, because the last thing we need is an accident on the causeway. It's going to stop traffic. We'll understand that. We have to stop traffic to make sure everybody's safe. Here, as fast as possible. We had an incident there. I don't know, was it Saturday? We had a motorbike accident in the base of the causeway. We had to shut it down, but within 15 to 30 minutes, we got it over.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
You guys usually have a feeling on what expectations you're gonna have on the first or spring break. What is your feelings in this year?
I could have said that better. Later, she'll probably answer that.
So, our visitor center girls, Marla and Noah, said they were reaching out to all the partners on Thursdays and Fridays. And so every Friday, we're gonna be sending out reports to all of the partners so they can see how we're doing every week all the way through March.
So we don't know it.
We'll have a better answer on Friday.
The thing about it is the booking window years ago was far out. People didn't have social media access, they didn't have internet access, as it is now, so whereby they even now, deals at the end of the time. So it's like March 1st, we're still looking for March, so it's very hard to gauge that right now. But they give us occupancy reports, so we can plan our resources necessary for the following week.
So the hotels aren't booking it yet?
Well, they just started the process.
They just
to reach
start
out.
booking when they're
Yeah. But that way we can plan the resources necessary for the crowds that are expected for each week. So we get a breakdown each week.
Is there somewhere we can go to get an update?
Every Friday, we'll be sending out a report.
Yeah, how do we set up that?
Yes, it does, depend on whether some of it's weather, some of it's activities. Yes, yes.
All right, all good questions. Any other questions for anybody? Well, I think you should know that you're very in good hands with all of the plans that we have for bringing people in here and keeping them safe and having a good time while they're here. So I think we're in good hands. So thank you all so much for the information. Thank you.